The alternate hypothesis determines the type of test. Recall that the symbols we can use for the alternate hypothesis are H1. The symbols we can use were not equal to, or less than, or greater than. So the three types of tests are associated with those symbols. So when H1, the symbol for the alternate hypothesis, is not equal to, that means it could be higher than the value proposed in the null hypothesis or lower. So this is what we call a two-tailed test. When H1 has the symbol not equal to. It could be proportion is not equal to some value. It could be the population mean is not equal to some value. This is just an example we've seen before. Both of those used before. Okay, and so these cutoff points, of course, are our critical values. This is a critical value, and this is a critical value. And so what happens is our significance level alpha gets split. So this area on the low end is alpha divided by 2, and on the upper end is alpha divided by 2. Okay, we could have a test where the lower end is where all of the area of alpha is contained, and this is when we have a left-tailed test. When our alternate hypothesis involves less than. P is less than some value, or mu is less than some value. That would be the alternate hypothesis. Left-tailed, sometimes you hear lower-tailed. And finally, we could have alpha centered, concentrated here in the upper tail, and this is called a right tail test, or it could be called an upper tail test. And this is when our alternate hypothesis is greater than. So when it comes to the left-tailed and the right-tailed, do you see a clue to help you determine which it is after you've determined what H1 is, your alternate hypothesis? Do you see a clue that will help you decide which tail you need to shade for your alpha? Well, clearly you see that the inequality sign points in the direction of the critical region, pointing to the left, pointing to the right. Makes it easy to remember. So all of our hypothesis tests will either be two-tailed, left-tailed, or right-tailed. And the two-tailed test, we will be having to split the alpha into both tails.